needs and consent has been sought and approved for this program by the Educational Partners International, school heads, and parents of the participating students. Opinions expressed within the content are solely the participating students and do not reflect the opinions and beliefs of the moderators, its affiliates, or the community they belong. This program does not promote or encourage any illegal activities. All contents provided herein is meant for educational purpose only.
The Global Student Forum is an initiative cultural program of Anthony Mapalo and Erwin Sanchez, both an international faculty at North Carolina, USA. The moderators of this forum believe that when students engage in a meaningful conversation with people from varied cultures, it provides them with more confidence in dealing with things outside of their comfort zones. It can build strength of character, pride, and confidence. This can be accomplished perfectly when students coming from different cultural backgrounds meet, speak, and listen to each other. The forum's main goal is to connect and broaden the students' understanding on cultural diversity via their home countries. The forum aims to benefit many students of different colors on social media platforms, breaking barriers towards academic success. Streaming live via Melon app on Facebook and YouTube from North Carolina, USA, and from Manila and Pampanga, Philippines. We welcome you to the Spring 2022 First Global Student Forum. Let's meet our moderators for today's forum. Mr. Erwin Sanchez is a science instruction specialist for more than 7 years in the basic education of via Melon app on Facebook and YouTube from North Carolina, USA, and from Manila and Pampanga, Philippines. We welcome you to the Spring 2022 First Global Student Forum. Let's meet our moderators for today's forum. Mr. Erwin Sanchez is a science instruction specialist for more than 7 years in the basic education of both public and private schools in Pampanga. Because of his desire and passion to widen his professional perspectives and contribute to the nation building, he was accepted as a visiting international faculty at Pitt Academy in Pitt County Schools, North Carolina, USA. Our next moderator is Mr. Anthony Mapalo. He has been teaching for 16 years in various local and international schools from basic education up to tertiary level. He's been involved in helping teachers make use of effective technology integration in the classroom, science instruction, and learning materials publication for the basic education in the Philippines. Currently, he is the middle school science teacher of Stokes School in Pitt County School, North Carolina, USA.
Thank you all for joining us in the 2022 Spring Global Student Forum. This forum will not become successful without the courageous students from the select students from the Philippines and the United States of America.
Let us meet our student participants from the Philippines. Our first participant is Ricardo Thirdy Emmanuel Samson Rodriguez. Thirdy is a student from Divine Light Academy, Las Piñas.
Our second participant is Morgan Morada Lorenzo. Morgan is a student from Singapore School, Manila.
For our third participant, we have Sean Jerty M. Timbang. Sean is from Jose C. Feliciano College Foundation at Mabalacat City, Pampanga.
And our last participant from the Philippines, Ria Bianca Donia. Ria is a student from Atlobola High School, Mabalacat City, Pampanga.
This time, let us meet our student from the other side of the world, the United States of America. First on the list is a 7th grade student, Bryce Jones.
Our next participant is an 8th grade student, Rihanna Corpue.
And the last but not the least is another 8th grade student, Yasmin Hollis.
These are our participants who went beyond the challenges in their time zones to be with us today and contribute something meaningful for themselves and their fellow students in their home country.
And now, before we formally begin, let us watch this AVP.
Hello, good morning from the United States and good evening in the Philippines for those of us, you guys in the Philippines. Good evening to you there. We welcome you to the 2022 Student Global Conference. And this event is an activity, a global cultural program that we would want to connect with students from the United States and students from the Philippines. So our conversation today has basically two parts. The first part will be called Fast Talk, and in this segment, each participant will be asked 9 common questions which are answerable by a short and honest response with our participants. Let me call in. Let me show our participants for today's conference. Let's begin with Yasmin. Hello, Yasmin. How are you, Yasmin?
Hello, how are you? I'm good. How are you?
Can't hear Yasmin.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We have Shan from the Philippines. Hello, Shan. Say hi.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Shan.
Hi.
And we have Ria. Bianca. Good morning, Ria.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Okay. And then we also have Morgan. Morada. Hello, Morgan.
Good morning.
Good morning. And then we have Ricardo, 30. Hello, 30. Good morning.
Good day,
Oh,
sir.
good evening to you there in Manila.
Good evening.
And we have another male student is Bryce Jones. Hello, Bryce. Good morning, Bryce. Can you adjust your camera, Bryce? Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. So we got 7 students of the 8 invited participants for this morning's forum. Okay, so we're gonna ask each one of you to answer common questions, and then we'll go through from one student to another student. Okay, ready? All right. So let's start off with basic questions from this fast talk. You have to answer quick as possible. So it's a choice question. You'll just pick one from this option. Let's start off with Yasmin. Hello, Yasmin.
Hello.
All right. Would you prefer TikTok or IG?
TikTok.
TikTok. Morgan.
Wait, repeat the question, please.
TikTok or IG?
IG.
You can't be in the middle, Morgan.
IG.
IG. All right. How about you, Bryce?
TikTok.
TikTok. 30?
TikTok.
TikTok. Ria?
Instagram, sir, every time.
Oh, IG. All right. Shan?
TikTok, sir.
TikTok also. All right. All right. Next question. Spicy or not spicy? Shan, this time.
Not spicy. Sir.
Not spicy. Okay. Ria?
Spicy po.
Spicy. Morgan?
Spicy.
Yasmin?
Spicy.
Spicy. 30.
Spicy.
Bryce.
Not spicy.
Nice. Nice or potato. Tingin, bro. Please. Erwin. Asa.
So let's begin with
Rice or potato? How about that for
would you rather have rice or potato?
all each student?
Let's start with 30.
Rice.
How about you, Bryce?
Potato.
How about you, Ria?
Rice
Oh, we
goes
don't
with
have Ria.
everything, sir.
So Yasmin,
Rice.
rice. How about you, Sean?
Just look at the screen sa reading mo lang. Kompleto lang natin.
Rice, sir.
Ria Bianca?
Rice goes with everything, sir.
Yeah, because most of the Filipinos it's the opposite. So we have a lot of rice, but few dishes.
Let me just ask you, Yasmin, what do you usually add to your potato when you eat potato?
I don't eat potatoes.
Ah, you don't eat potato.
How about you,
Bryce.
Morgan?
No, let's hear for Bryce first. Bryce, do you eat potato?
Not really.
Not really that much. Okay. Who's eating potato here? Give me a thumbs up. Like thumbs up. No one. Only Morgan.
Only Morgan.
Morgan and Ria.
And Ria.
Okay. What do you pair with your potato, Morgan?
Chicken or salmon.
Chicken and salad. Wow. And Uriah?
Steak, sir. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Everybody loves steaks.
Okay, let's proceed. Next question. Hot shower or cold shower? Let's begin with Bryce.
Hot shower.
Hot shower. 30.
Cold shower. It's always hot here.
So in the Philippines, we always take a cold shower.
Take note of that, Yasmin and Bryce. Morgan, hot shower or cold shower?
Cold shower for the win.
Okay. Ria.
Cold shower after a long day, sir.
Okay. Sean?
Cold shower, sir, is the best.
Yasmin?
Hot shower.
Oh, hot shower. Because it's cold here in the US.
So in the Philippines, most. Of
How
the
about you,
Filipinos-
Erwin? Hot
I
shower
prefer
or
cold.
cold shower?
I've been enduring cold shower here in the US now.
Okay.
So
Because
most-
his
most of
heater
the-
is broken.
most of the Filipinos in the Philippines, they really love cold shower because it's hot in,
Yeah.
in our country. And as of the moment, I've endured 1 month of cold shower here in the US because my water heater is broken for 1 month.
Okay. All right. At this point, we will pause this Q&A to watch and or listen to teacher Marilu Kaligagan as she shares her personal takeaways in valuing cultural sensitivity and how she applies the cultural sensitivity lesson or understanding in her instructions. Let me just...
Hello everyone, I'm Teacher Lu from the Philippines. So I'll be sharing my takeaways on being culturally sensitive and responsive teacher. As Maya Angelou states beautifully, we should all recognize that diversity creates a rich tapestry, and all of the tapestry strands, regardless of color, are equal in worth. As a teacher, I always remind my students that we, as human beings, must be very much willing to accept people who are different from ourselves. I also encourage them to create warm, positive, and inclusive environment where everyone feels confident, welcome, and at ease. Indeed, integrating culturally sensitive instruction in my class has a huge impact and influence. And we must always remember that our students have unique personalities and perspectives. That is why, as a teacher, we must constantly remind them that mutual regard is a product of mutual respect. Have a wonderful and safe day ahead. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Netflix or Amazon Prime. Let's start with Yasmin Hollis.
Can you repeat? I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, wait. So let's start with let's continue our past stuff. So let's start with the with question: would you rather have Netflix or Amazon Prime? Let's start with you.
Yasmin
Netflix.
first. Yasmin, Netflix or Amazon Prime?
Netflix.
How
Netflix.
about you, Ria?
Netflix, sir.
Netflix. How about you, Morgan?
Netflix.
How about you, Ricardo?
Netflix, we already use it a lot.
How about you, Bryce?
Netflix.
We can't see Shan. Where is Shan?
Shan. There.
How about you, Shan?
Netflix.
So
Wow,
maybe we have
Netflix.
a winner.
Netflix is the. All right. Can anyone share? It's not for anyone who would want to volunteer. Like for you, what is the best Netflix series so far that you have watched? Like something that you really love the most personally. Can anyone share that Netflix series?
Like
Have you watched any Netflix?
their favorite series or
Yeah.
movies.
Have you watched any Netflix series? Ria, do you have any? What was it?
Grey's Anatomy, sir, for me is the best series I've ever watched.
Okay. How many of you are familiar with that? No one? No one is? Morgan.
I don't really have a favorite series since all I mostly watch on Netflix are movies.
Movies. All right. All right. If it is for movie, what movie would it be?
I'm not so sure. There's a lot I like.
Yasmin.
I don't really have a favorite of either.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Let's proceed.
Mhm.
All right. This time, how about football or basketball? Bryce. For sure. I know the answer. Bryce?
Football, probably.
Football. Okay. 30?
I'd like to try football.
Okay. Shan?
Sir, none of the above, sir, since I am not physically active, sir. But if I will choose it, I will
At least
choose
watching.
football.
Okay. Ria?
Basketball, sir, because I want to be a
Basketball.
cheerleader.
Okay. How about Morgan?
Oh, Morgan.
Football.
Okay. Oh, really?
Well, mind you, the
Look at the comment.
football in the Philippines is different than the football here in the U.S. So they in the U.S. they have the football which has a ball like a how do you call that? I don't know the ball, but
Maybe Bryce
in the
could tell us.
Philippines,
I'll tell us more about
your football in the U.S.
how do you like. What is it like?
Describe what is football in the U.S.
Like that's
So
your
football,
sports, right? Mm-hmm.
so football in the U.S. is more like every time you score like a touchdown, it's 6 points, and then
So how do you move the ball? Like are you kicking it or throwing
you
it?
get 4 downs and you can either run, like hand it off to somebody, or you could pass the ball to somebody. And you're fourth down, you can either go for it, which means you can have another try to get past the yard. They call it yards. If you can get past that certain point, or you could either punt it, and then if you punt it, it gives it the ball to the other team, but it's farther than if you try to go for it. And if you don't get it, that's where the ball stops and it hands over to the other team. But if you punt it, you have the team farther back on their side of the field, and so it's not as close distance for them to score.
Awesome. Thank you, Bryce, for sharing that up to us. Who loves playing basketball here or like watching if not playing basketball? No one?
They're not sporting at all. We have only one student.
We only one. All right. Hello, Mr. Erwin Sanchez. You can continue.
Okay. Let's continue with the fast talk. Would you rather so this is like a hobby, like what you do inside your house, bedroom, or sometimes in the bathroom. Would you prefer singing or dancing? Let's start with Ria Bianca. Ria.
I love to sing, sir, but I guess it's not for me, so I choose dancing.
So basically, you love singing, but the music doesn't love you like that. How about you, Morgan?
I actually do both, but I'm mostly into the singing.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. And then, how about you, Ricardo?
I like to sing more, sir.
Okay. Can we hear one line? Or what's your favorite music?
I'm not sure if I can. I haven't prepared what
This is a title. All right. Shy.
How about you, Bryce?
Bryce?
Dancing.
You can what you say what?
Dancing.
Okay. Dancing.
Dancing. How about you, Yasmin?
I prefer singing, but I'm not good at it.
And then thank you, Yasmin. I can guess that Sean really loves to dance because I saw her dancing in the school.
Let her answer.
So I can 100% sure that she loves dancing. So would you rather sing or dance, Sean?
Since I was young, sir, I've been dancing, so I'll definitely go with dancing po.
All right. Thank you very much. We now move on to the last two questions. All right. This time, text or call. Let's begin with Shan, the last person earlier. Shan, text or call? Do you prefer the
Text,
text
sir.
or call?
I hate call.
Okay. Yasmin, text or call?
Calls.
Calls. Okay. FaceTime, Messenger.
Or it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Bryce, text or call?
Text.
Okay.
He said text.
Okay. Ricardo, text or call?
Text. Text.
Also. Morgan.
Text, of course.
Okay. Thanks.
I
Ria. Text or call?
am really a lazy person, so I prefer calls po.
All right. FYI for Yasmin and Bryce, did you know that the Philippines was once first flagged like to be the texting
Actually, until
capital
now,
of the world?
until now, this is the
Many
testing
Filipinos
capital of the
would
world.
prefer to text than to call. Well, primarily because it's cheaper to text than to call in the Philippines. And like here in the United States, we can make calls anytime we want, unlimited, depending on the plan that we have. So basically, that's what we do here. All right. All right.
Final question. This is how we're gonna end this fast talk and move on to a more serious type of question that we have for y'all. Please share just one word, not a sentence, not a phrase, just one word that comes to your mind when you hear culture. Okay? Let's begin with the ladies. Ria first. One word for you. Culture.
Beauty, sir.
Okay. Morgan.
Respect.
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 Wow. 30.
Involvement.
Wow. Involvement. I hope y'all taking note of this. Bryce. One word. Culture.
Excuse me. Probably respect.
Okay. Yasmin.
Diversity.
Diversity,
Wow,
yeah, that's good.
diversity. And Shan. Shan, one word.
Identity, sir. Identity.
Identity. Amazing. All right. This concludes the first part of our forum. And before we move on to the next round, I want you to watch again this interview that I had with another teacher, actually teacher and lawyer. That will share us her views about understanding cultures. Let me just set this up. Hide everyone. Alam mo, kailangan dito ng controller. Okay.
It takes quality education and character development to be culturally sensitive and responsive. First is education. You see, prejudice comments only expose the speaker's ignorance and not the victim's so called faults based on his or her cultural background or upbringing. The Cambridge Dictionary even defines sensitive as understanding what other people need and being helpful and kind to them. This leads me to my second point, which is character. Being humble and being kind will prevent us from disparaging the customs of others. Rather, we will be motivated to reach out and learn how other people live, share their customs, and even taste their food, rather than holding back or viewing with suspicion everything that seems so different. Always remember, doing the kind thing is always the right thing.
At your school. So let's go first with Yasmin.
I'm sorry. It I couldn't hear you for a second. Can you repeat?
Oh, wait. So we will now continue with the second part of our forum. We'll still follow the same sequence applied in the first part, which is the
Right.
fast talk. So we have the first question. Explain what a day looks like at your school.
Okay, so how my day starts off is I'll get off of the bus at 7:30. I'll grab my breakfast and I'll go to my homeroom, which is math. And I'll be in math from 7:30 to 8, and then we'll go to and my class will go to ELA. And we're in ELA for until 10:30, and then that's when we go to our first encore. Mine being keyboarding, so we're learning how to type and use. We're just learning how to type on like keyboards and understanding like the keys and everything. And then after keyboarding, we'll go to lunch, and that's at 11:15. We'll eat our lunch, and then we'll go put our stuff back inside of our social studies class, and we'll go to our second encore, which for mine is career exploration. In career exploration, we are searching for, or we're like sort of planning out our futures and like what jobs we want, the salaries, different places, and things like that. And then we'll go to, the class actually splits up. I go to social studies until 1:25, and then we'll switch and I'll go to Mr. Mapala's class until 2:05. And then we go to intervention, and that is until 2:40, and we leave at 2:45.
Oh, that's great. So that's a long schedule. So how about you, Sean?
Sino si Yasmin ba yan?
A day in my school is very simple yet interesting.
Hindi ko naiintindihan.
A day in my school is very simple and interesting. Interesting in a way that I was able to interact with my classmates and share conversation with my friends and to my teachers as well. Usually we have 8 to 9 subjects. Yes, it is very exhausting, but it is fun. And since I am the afternoon shift, we usually start school at 12 noon. Given the time, it is normally to feel a bit bored and sleepy at the same time. But overall, a day in my school will always be one of my favorite a day in my life, since I was able to learn, and that's my main reason for entering the school.
Okay, that's great, Sean. So in the Philippines, most of the students, they have a lot of subjects, so it's also stressful when when you're studying in the Philippines. How about you, Ria?
So I'll summarize mine very shortly. My usual classes starts at 12 p.m. and then I'll study first 3 subjects, and then after that a break time, and then it usually ends around 6 p.m.
I really miss this the school in the Philippines. So let's continue the question. The flow. Let's go with Morgan.
So actually, I just returned to face-to-face classes last Monday, and it was quite a surreal experience for someone who has been taking online classes for almost 2.5 years now. And a day in our school is simple. Like upon entering the school, we have to do a temperature check, sanitize, and tap our IDs. And the students should go straight to their respective classrooms, which are situated on the 3rd floor in my case. And there we'll have to wait until 8 a.m. to start the day. So the students are free to do whatever they want with the time they have. And at 7:45, our advisors will enter the classroom, and they will talk to us about what the schedule will happen. And at 8 a.m., the opening activity starts, and we sing the Philippine, Singapore national anthems during Monday only, and a moment of gratitude is shared in class. And of course, we do news reportings, and our advisors will read out reminders and announcements and the things we have to do and submit for the day. So from Tuesday to Friday, we sing the school song. And for Monday, like I said, we only sing the Philippine and Singapore national anthem. And during Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we are dismissed at 3:30. But during Tuesday and Thursdays, we're dismissed at 12:45. So it's a half day. So we have recess at 10:15 for 30 minutes and lunch breaks at 12:45 for 45 minutes. And then after classes, we'll have to hang out in the gazebos by the rooftop or the soccer field or the turf at the bottom floor. But if it's too hot, we go to the library.
All right, just for the benefit of Yasmin and Bryce, who are with us today, the advisors in the Philippines is comparable to the homeroom teachers here at Pitt County in the United States.
Yeah,
So that's basically the same. We also do our morning assembly, like the morning, uh, yeah, yeah, the morning focus before the morning focus, when there is an announcement over the public announcement. But in the Philippines, we gather the students for the morning assembly. We're
yeah.
in. Yeah,
Usually they are being gathered like
yeah,
sing the national anthem and then some kind of exercise in
yes.
the morning,
Yeah,
like
and since Morgan is studying in an international school, a Singapore school, Manila, they have to sing. uh, yeah,
okay.
the
Let's
national
move on to Ricardo Emmanuel.
Okay, so right now we're not allowed to be in face to face, but I'll still explain what it was like when we were still in face to face classes. So by the start of the day, there's already a lot of students in the campus, teachers, officials. So there will be a lot of school buses coming in through the drop off, where there's
Ay,
usually
saglit ah.
already a lot of cars.
Yung
As you go
promise ko
in,
namin sa school namin.
there will be one or two security guards at each entrance of the school, but there's four or five gates, but only three of them are primarily used. And if you get there early, you could continue directly to the classrooms or just roam around, just as long as you don't do anything bad. So at around 7:45, we have an assembly, just like what Sir said, for a head count of the students. But on Wednesdays, this is usually the time for our flag ceremony. And around this time, if it's the first Friday of the month, from our assembly, we instead go to our gymnasium and sit on the bleachers upstairs or the monoblock chairs down below, in which we carry on with our mass. Afterwards, um, class goes on as usual, 1 hour for each subject, and then by 10 a.m., we have recess for 30 minutes and then go back to our classes. Then also around at 12 noon, we have lunch for an hour. We get dismissed by 4 or 4:30, and then around 12 noon, oh wait, sorry, 4 to 4:30, where afterwards we just wait for our school bus or respective guardians to fetch us. Oh, and sometimes we go to clubs that we've joined. Clubs days usually replace the last period of our class, and some of the clubs involve teachers and students from different levels to get together and do what clubs normally do. That's usually the day.
So so we don't have. Okay, so that is a great answer, Ricardo. So for the benefit of the two American students, of our two American students in the Philippines right now, because of our government, it is so strict. So we don't have face to face schooling right now because of the pandemic, and it's most of the students are also wearing masks. They are still the mask is still mandated in the Philippines, so they have to wear the mask and have sanitizers. And some schools in both private and public schools are doing face to face or pilot, or they're trying to do the normal way, but in a limited number of students. So that's um, how the schools in the Philippines right now in the midst of pandemic. So let's move on to Bryce.
So in the morning, I get out of my mom's car and I grab my baseball bag, and then I go to the gym and put my baseball bag the in the gym, and then I walk to my homeroom class, which is social studies, and then I do the flag in the morning. So I put up and lower the flag every morning. I do that, and then I go back to my social studies class. Then I go to science class. Then I have my first encore, which is keyboarding. We're learning how to remember where all the keys are. And then my second encore is sports conditioning, where we do workouts and get conditioned and like we run and all that. And then we have a lunch from 11:15 to 11:45. Then I go to my math class, which is from 11:45 to 12:55. Then I go to ELA from 12:55 to 2:05. Then we have intervention every afternoon till 2:45. Then I go grab my baseball bag, go on the bus, and go to the baseball practice. And I just do that every day.
Okay. Thank you for that wonderful sharing of your schedule and day in your school. So let's move on to the other question. What is one thing that you are very proud of in your or culture or common practices that you do at your school or home? So let's start with Yasmin. Yasmin, we can't hear you. Maybe.
Oh, I apologize. At home, I don't really have any common practices, but like at school, I don't really have a common practice that I do or we do every day in my class. So really, I wouldn't know how to answer that question.
So just like when you say that like what you do or your maybe they have already mentioned it that when they mentioned about the schedule of their schools or of their class. So maybe you have already mentioned it. So the culture and common practices that you do at school or home. So let's focus on the home. So what do you do when you are at home? Yasmin?
Things I do when I'm at home, I'll come straight off the bus and maybe I'll let my dogs out because they're in their cage all morning. So I'll maybe let my dogs outside. We have 5, so we'll let all 5 of them out. And then we'll let them back in and we'll just for the rest of the day.
Okay. So
Thank you, Yasmin.
let's go with
Let's hear this time from
Ria.
Ria. Ria, can you share us something about your takeaway, something that you're very proud about, your culture or the common practices that you do at school or maybe at home?
My parents used to teach me. I really use every time is to use po at opo. So for you who don't know what po and opo is, we use it after a sentence. For example, good morning po, and we use it to show respect to older people, to our grandparents, to aunties, and some who is older than us, but
So that's great, Donya. So for the benefit of the two American students, so yes, we use po and opo at the end or sometimes in the beginning of the sentence. We use po and opo as a sign of respect to those people who are older than us, or sometimes if you just want to make a or to respect a people, like when you're talking about when you're talking with someone that you don't know, sometimes you do you say po and opo. So most of the Filipinos, they do that, they use that po and
Yeah,
opo.
it's being polite. It's being polite when you say po and opo to someone who's older.
Just to show, it is just a sign of respect. So let's go with Morgan.
So the culture I am most proud of here is the Filipino hospitality. It goes beyond the friendly treatment of guests, basically. We usually invite guests or visitors into our homes and treat them like a king or a queen. And we put our best foot forward to make sure our guests feel comfortable, cook them the most famous Filipino dishes, and even arrange like an itinerary for them, for them like to go around and show them the beautiful places or the cities. And due to the Filipinos' hospitable nature, it's a pleasure for them to see their guests feel at home and well accommodated.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Morgan. We'll have more of that maybe in a bit. Ricardo, how about you? It's your turn.
So a practice that I'm most proud of is our culture of being welcoming to people, even those who we sometimes don't get along with too well. We still accommodate them and treat them as guests in our home, and I can associate this practice with the term bayanihan, from the root word of bayan, which refers to a country, but in this case, a community or a group of people. It's used as a term for the idea of a group of people. Bayanihan is the cooperation or unity of people between yourself and your neighbors to achieve one goal.
All right, that is awesome. Thank you. Wow, Ricardo, I've learned a lot from you. Let's hear this time from Bryce Jones. One thing that you are very proud of your culture or common practices that you do at school or at home.
One common practice I'm very proud of in school is probably our leadership roles that we have. Like I said earlier in my schedule, I do the flag crew. People have jobs they do in our school that help other kids.
All right, that's it. Chat. Hi. All right, thank you, Bryce. Erwin.
Okay, let us hear a word from Shan. Shan, we can hear you. Maybe you're.
Please unmute.
Shan, we can't hear you, Shan. Shan, do you hear me, Shan? We can't hear you, Shan. Naka-unmute ba siya?
Okay, skip na natin siya.
Okay, Shan. Shan is having some kind of trouble with her mic, so let's move on, Mr. Mapalo.
All right, so for our next, sorry, this is
Okay.
this is live. We really
Can we share our another culture from the Philippines? Like I have one word to share. So for the benefit of the two American students, so most Filipinos are resilient. So we are very proud of being resilient. So our resiliency. So whatever happens in our environment, because Philippines is always hit by different natural calamities like earthquake, um, super typhoons. But even though we are being hit by that kind of different natural disasters, most Filipinos are always happy. You can always see them smiling. You can always see them um, um, being nice to each other, and they are always positive when it comes to their outlook in their lives. So that is the best. That is one thing that I am being proud of about the Filipino culture. About is the resiliency of the most Filipinos in the Philippines. So let's move on to
All right, let's
the other
move on to the
question.
next for our next question. We still have three more questions here. How can you promote respect to other cultures of race, color, and ethnicity? Let's begin with uh, Bryce this time.
So you can promote respect by probably helping out that culture or race, color, ethnicity. You could probably help them. Yeah. That's a harder question for me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Bryce. Let's. How about Ricardo?
The simplest way to promote respect would be to become open minded, but that isn't really easy for a lot of people. So you shouldn't really judge a culture if you've never experienced it. That we should keep our reservations to ourselves. In a way, disrespecting others for their appearance or cultural background is mocking them for who they are. They are people too, and they deserve just as much respect and love as anyone, including you.
All right. Thank you, Ricardo. Let's hear this time from Morgan.
So, to promote respect to other cultures of race, color, and ethnicity, one has to simply accept that there are many different cultures other than our own. And one has to be self aware, and and it's a great place to start is to pick a book up and read about cultures that interest or do our research basically. And another way, of course, is to be open minded. And being open to learning about different cultures can also encourage people to have diverse friend groups or friendships that include people of all different races, ethnicities, and religions.
That was amazing. Thank you, Morgan. I like the word diversity, celebrating diversity in your response. Let's hear this time, Yasmin.
One way you can promote respect is to simply treat them how you treat like normal people or your normal friends, and be willing to learn about the different cultures before you go and try to judge them for like who they are, what they do, and be willing to like respect them, like in the question, like respect them as a person.
All right. Thank you, Yasmin, for that. Let's hear this time from Ria Bianca Donier. Where is Ria? Hello, Ria. It's your turn.
So, for us to show respect to tradition is to embrace. Sir, hello.
Yes, Bianca, we
Hello
can
po.
hear you.
Can you hear me po? Sir, hello. Sir, hello.
I think she is having an intermittent connection.
Can you hear me now? So, a way to promote respect to other culture is to embrace every culture. It's okay now. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi.
Just having a problem because just having an interaction right now.
Let's hear Shad this time.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you now, Sean.
Okay, go Shad. How can you promote respect to other cultures, race, color, and ethnicity?
When we are trying to encourage someone to respect, I think the first thing we need to do is to be a good role model first. There's a famous saying from a known person that says, "Action speaks are louder than words." We should be seen as someone to respect their
We are certainly having a problem with our internet connection back
in the
uh,
Philippines.
yeah, in the Philippines. Who else has not responded? All right, so let's move on to the next question. Given the chance, all right, given the chance, would you want to have a friend from another country? Why or why not? Let's begin with Yasmin. You okay with that? Yes.
Huh?
And why or why not? How is it
Um,
going to benefit you?
I would like to have a friend from like another like culture or country because I feel like it just helped me like learn more about or be open-minded and to help me learn more about like other cultures and make me more willing to like accept not more like accept because I do accept them but
All right. Thank you, Yasmin. All right. That was fun. That's going to be fun, right? To have a friend
yeah
from another country, right?
yes
Celebrating diversity. Let's hear it from Ricardo.
I would definitely like to have a friend from another country. I think it's interesting to discover the different practices of people, the different cultural backgrounds. I think it could help me understand them better so I can avoid making disrespectful comments without me knowing, and maybe I can take part of it too.
Wow. Awesome. Bryce?
It would. So having a friend in a different country would benefit me because it would help me become where I would be open minded, like Yasmin said, and I'm gonna take words from what he said. It's gonna be where I don't be disrespectful to the other culture, and so I can understand what's going on through that culture.
So,
And it's like it could be like it could be a second culture for me, and I could do what they're doing.
All right. Thank you, Bryce. Morgan, it's your turn.
Okay, so I would 100% love to have a friend who resides in another country, and getting to know someone who has a different culture from me is exciting and refreshing to hear. Of course, I would really want to know and learn more about their country and their culture, and I would love to listen to all the amazing stories they have to share. And I'm also looking forward to learning their language. Plus, we could be language buddies. And having friends from another country also broadens my network of opportunities.
Wow, indeed, right? When you have more friends from another country, like it gives you a bragging right. Hey, I'm a global citizen and I'm learning lots, right? From not just from my practices, my culture, but also from other cultures. And if ever in the future I given the chance that I get to travel from that their country, at least I'm already aware, oriented with their culture, and I can show respect to their practices without causing any trouble on my end or hurting their feelings. And that's gonna be fun, right? To celebrate the diversity that we have. Okay, let's see if Shan is back. Shan, can you hear us? Shan, we lose you earlier. Shan is still having a problem. All right. How about Ria Bianca? Ria, are you? Hello, Ria. We we lose you earlier.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now po?
Okay,
yes,
go. Can you
we can
just
hear
give us
now.
a preview background of what you're
Hello
gonna
po.
say about this
Hello po.
question? If ever you given the
Hello.
chance, would you want to have a friend from another country? Why or why not?
Can you hear me now po?
Yes, yes, we hear you.
Sir? Sir?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So, of course, I would love to meet other people, especially. Hello po. Hello po.
Yes.
Hello po.
Yeah,
Hello.
just continue.
Hello po.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you now. Okay, go. Keep going.
Okay po. So, of course, I would love to meet other friends from different countries. I actually met one last year, and she is from Spain, and we talk.
All right, I think we lost her again. All right, thank you. We'll try to pull her back into the forum. But in the meantime, I have one last question for y'all. If you have, actually, a statement, if you have a question to your fellow student in another country, what would it be? This may not be answered by anyone in this group, but just to throw a question to someone, what would it be for you? Let's start off with Yasmin. You have a question?
My question would be, would you go an entire day learning and trying to see what another country, not country, culture is like? So would you go a whole day trying to figure out or living without your culture and trying another one?
Would anyone be willing to respond to Yasmin, although you're not required to? No one? Okay, thank you. That's a good question, Yasmin. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's have Morgan this time.
Morgan, she has a very strong internet connection.
So go, Morgan.
Internet connection is good.
I guess I would ask, since it's relatable, kind of. If you get a disappointing grade, what do you do?
Disappointing group. Oh, who would like to answer that? If you have a disappointing group, what do you do?
No, she said great.
Disappointing grade.
What do you do?
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Disappointing grade. What do you do? Maybe anyone can answer that. Bryce or Yasmin or Ricardo
Like
can
in
answer
a
that.
test or in your report card.
If I have a grade that I don't, I'll try and see if my teachers let me do extra work to try and make up for it. But most of the time, they will, but sometimes it depends on the teacher, really. But I'll try to either make up the work or see if I can have a second chance on the recent
Anyone would like to answer that question of Morgan? Oh yes, Shan. Go, Shan.
Something mic. Knock on yung mic.
Yes. Shan, you can do this.
Come on, you got this. You got this.
She really want to answer the question, but it's only the.
I have.
She's just having some kind of technical issues.
That's okay, Shan. I'm sorry, Shan. All right. Anyone? Question, Bryce. What question would you have given the chance? Bryce.
If you are worried about a situation, like if there's a problem going on at school, who would you go to help solve that problem or make you feel better?
Wow, that's a tough question. Anyone would like to respond to that question?
I guess I would like maybe talk to my friends first and see if they can help me somewhat or make me feel better. But if that doesn't do much, I guess I can go to my teacher or specifically my advisor so I can like see where I can improve and look at back at my mistakes.
Wow. All right. Thank you. Who else has a question here? Ricardo, this time. What question do you have for anyone in this group?
Okay. So in your opinion, do you think that your government handled the pandemic well? If so, why or why not? Is it did they handle it well or not?
All right, that's a political question.
I can see the reaction of Morgan.
Morgan.
I can still change it, sir.
uh, let's see. It's just an opinion. We're not trying to divide or split the country here. Yasmin.
Yes or no is okay.
I'm not sure because now and they used to make us, or before we walked inside, we'd have to get our temperature checked and we had to have our mask above our nose and below our chin. But now we no longer get those temperature checks. We don't have to wear masks and anywhere now. It's not you can't be forced to do it. It's been the mask thing, it's been changed a lot. Like sometimes we'd be able to have them off and sometimes we'd have to put them back on. So it really depends on who you're talking to. Really, I don't know if they've handled it well or not.
All right, so that's for the United States. How about for the Philippines? Morgan, you have to answer this.
I guess in the Philippines, I would say that they didn't really handle it well. Well, I'm sorry if someone, but yeah, that's a no for me.
Okay. All right, thank you. Let's not have a heated discussion or debate about that. We're not promoting any political partisanship here because we just tried to answer the question of Ricardo. I just want to follow up with what Yasmin has said. Here in the United States, actually, during the start of pandemic, classes was halted. They went online, but that was for only 4 months. But am I right, Yasmin, Bryce? Just for a couple of months
Yeah,
only.
they let everyone out of school for like they let everyone out and they were bringing people like they were bringing my family like packets of work, and I believe they passed everybody from that. They went and passed everyone because people didn't really they didn't really have a way to get their work done. And then when we came back, we were online, and then they made it a choice to be online or in person, and I chose in person because if I did go on online, I would lack in work and my grades would be terrible.
Yeah, so there were options for students to be online and to be in person like last academic year, but beginning this academic year, since August, we're all face to face. We were mandated to wear masks, but starting this year, everything seems to be normal already. No, you wear masks at your own preference and your parents' preference for your own safety, but it's no longer required. We don't get temperature checks. But when you go to you take the public transportation in the US, like planes, you're still required to wear the mask. But at school, it's no longer required. When you go to the malls, no longer required, except for some boutiques or stores that requires the wearing of mask. But most likely, we're a bit normal already here in the United States. Yeah, aside and comparable to the Philippines. All right, so thank you for those questions that you have raised to one another. And we're ending this forum by you sharing your takeaway from this forum. So, what is one thing or any realizations or learnings that you have gained from hearing from one another in this morning or evening's forum? Um, yeah, about your culture, about your practices, about your hobbies, and anything about yourself. Let's start off with Let's try to pull in. Maybe we have wait, Ria Bianca, Ria and Shan. Shan, are you back? Do we have a good audio from you?
Oh, we still can't hear you, Sean.
Anyway, I'll just show you if we. All right, let's have Morgan takeaways.
Okay, so I guess I am for this forum. I am thankful for the amazing opportunity to share my culture and my personal insights about cultural diversity with all of you, and and back to the question where we promote the respect for other cultures. Can I just say that forums like this were the perfect avenue for us to learn about cultures and school practices, and I hope there will be more forums like this that I can attend to.
Wow, I would want to have the series or part two. Maybe by that time we'll be able to iron out some technical issues that we've encountered at the beginning. But this is something, Morgan, I'm really looking forward for in the future. Like maybe we have a series number two with a different context, concepts, and more engaging and interactive discussion, which are educational for everyone, and that all of us, even as adults, will learn from you all, from your practices. All right, let's hear it from Bryce. Any takeaways? Something that you can bring home, you can share your mom, your grandma, your grandpa
So
about
I'm
this
thankful for the
this part.
opportunity. I'm thankful for the opportunity to learn about the Philippines culture and what they do in their daily lives, and I hope we have another one just like this.
All right.
Good to hear that, Bryce.
Erwin.
Um, have you already called Ricardo?
Not yet.
Okay, Ricardo, let's go with Ricardo.
So when I was first invited to this forum, I really didn't know if I should accept it because I was a little nervous, and I am really glad that I accepted it because this was really insightful and informative for me. And I'm grateful for your the answers you shared. There are some similarities and some things that I've only heard of just now. So I hope that I can join another one of these because it's really enjoyable to listen to what you guys say. As this opportunity is quite hard to come by, and I thank everyone for not being afraid to share their cultures.
Wow, amazing. Great job.
How about you, Yasmin?
How about you, Yasmin?
I'm actually glad I was able to come because a lot of people from different cultures or countries don't really come over, and if they do, they don't choose to come to small North Carolina, and so I'm glad I was able to come up here and meet and talk to people from different cultures and countries.
Wow. Actually, in the US, we are diverse already, Yasmin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even in our classroom, you know that, Yasmin.
Yeah,
we're already diverse.
But
the eighth graders, very diverse. But it would be good to see another culture in this forum and learn from one another. And there's something that I can see that stands out the most is that even if you come from a different cultural background, kids are kids. Like teenagers are teenagers.
They're
Right?
always alike.
You have somewhat the same preferences, likes, dislikes. Though we can see unique features or characteristics, behaviors that you manifest, but uh, you're all at the normal age and behavior. Thank you. All right, let's try to hear Ria. Any takeaways, Ria? Ria.
I notice when they start talking, their internet is starting also to to let go.
All right. I don't think we can still hear them, but we can see them. There's really a problem in their
Because
audio.
they're both in the same area, so maybe in their area,
Next clip.
the internet in their area is
Okay, next. It's good.
okay.
Thank you.
So thank you, students, for your honest answers to the questions. So we hope that you have learned something new from your student counterpart.
There is no doubt that the world has become more connected and collaborative in the 21st, or we call it in the university when I used to teach there in the Philippines and for the undergraduate as moving to the fourth industrial revolution because of the technology that we have, even if we've experienced intermittent connection or technical difficulties with the audio, with the internet connection earlier, with the computer that we're using, it's lagging, etc. But it was very clear that we can still communicate, we can talk, we can reach, we can connect from one another and learn from each other, not just to become respectful, but to engage ourselves into or empower ourselves to become a better citizen and helping ourselves and the community. Being able to meet another person with a different cultural background, I believe, necessitates us to recognize these differences in accent, in color, in practices, and with whatever we do for us to become culturally responsive to thrive in the challenges brought about by globalization.
So let me begin by thanking all of you for joining our forum and for the excellent responses that you have provided us during the fast talks. So yes, technology indeed connected us to the other side of the world. Although Shan and Ria they are having some kind of trouble in their internet connection. So sharing the good experiences and good lessons that you have learned from visiting to your culture will be a great help to further connect and empower students for success in every part of the world. So thank you all for joining the forum.
At this juncture, we would like to thank the following who helped us make this forum possible: the Educational Partners International, Stokes School, Peer Academy, the parents of the participating students, the school heads of the participating students, Attorney Clyde Vargas, and Miss Marie Cola, Mr. Marie Colala,
Marilu Kaligagan.
Marilu Caligaga. Sorry, I forgot that. This is Mr. Anthony Mapalo.
And this is Mr. Erwin Sanchez.
Together, we are now signing up. And thank you and have a great day. See you again on the next series of our Global Student Forum.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Good morning, Yasmin. Good morning, Bryce. Good evening, Morgan. Good evening, Shan, Ricardo, and Ria, who had a problem on the internet. Thank you so much for joining us in the first Global Student Forum. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Paano ko ito papatayin? Nasaan yung mouse ko? Hinahanap ko yung mouse. Ayun.